What, in your view, constitutes supply chain risk?
Many times we have seen our experience with our customers and some large and mid-market segment shippers that one of the reasons that they are outsourcing is able to manage their supply chain risk. Supply chain has become so complex in our current environment, given the volatility in the economy in the last 24 months. Supply chain manager has been doing a funny dance in the last 24 months. 2 steps forwards and 1 step backward, or 1 step forward and 2 steps backwards. And we have seen increasing the transportation rates and the tightening of the capacity are a function of the growing economy. And sudden weakening of the demand and supply defaults are signs of a slowing economy. And we have seen all of that in 2010. Just look at the volatility that we have faced. With a complex supply chain, security and compliance are seriously challenging our timelines and making the supply chain more complex. Globalization. The world economy is about wage arbitrage, that we are now going to low-cost destinations. That obviously increases our risk. It decreases our cost, but increases our risk. So we need to manage our risk on a proactive basis. In Kelron, we started a supplier quality compliance program in 1999. And over the last 10 years, we have seen a common law has emerged in the United States and in Canada as well, that the courts and shippers are holding the 3PLs increasingly accountable for carrier evaluation and selection process. Just an example. So 3PLs need to step up. The shippers are getting more sophisticated. But to answer your question, we need to manage our risk very proactively. And there's always an issue about the cost of managing that risk versus the long-term profitability. It's like sustainability. But we need to have a trade-off. But not managing risk, there's an internal risk that we need to mitigate. And there is an external risk. There's so much of explosion of contractual liability. And we need to manage that risk by subrogating, by transferring, by avoiding, sometimes reducing, sometimes holding our carrier partners accountable to a higher degree, either based on the generic principles or based on the customer-specific criteria. But I don't believe that we can ignore the risk factor in the current economy.
Tell me about your views on sustainability.
We have heard in the conference this morning about a triple bottom line concept, economic, environmental, and it was music to my ears when I heard about Walmart talking about financial part within that triple bottom line. Sustainability has become a buzzword in the industry. It used to be a fashion, but now it's become a real meaning to businesses. Saving the planet is necessary, but it's also becoming good, ethical business. A lot of shippers and a lot of our customers are holding us accountable to sustainability standards. Even as a 3PL, holding our carriers accountable to smart way compliance. And there's also another aspect of sustainability is a corporate social responsibility. So we can do some small incremental changes. The big breakthroughs do not cost big monies. It's a small incremental changes that you can make inside your business. Hold your employees and your constituents accountable to higher standards of sustainability. I also want to blend sustainability with the lean management philosophy, where whether you call it right sizing, cost containment, cost reduction, at the end of the day, lean management is a management philosophy. It's a state of mind, and that intersect with sustainability. It used to be a misconception that sustainability adds cost to the business. We believe that sustainability drives cost out of the business and making our planet a safer and a better place. An efficient business process by itself is a meaning of sustainability and also lean management. And by its very nature, it becomes a green initiative. Being lean management is you eliminate the waste by adding value to the customers, and it fits into a natural definition of a lean, green business ethic. It's a far more better selling feature today, as long as you are going to truly implement in letter and spirit of your sustainability and your lean management philosophy.
And do you share your sustainability practices with your customers and with your suppliers as well?
Absolutely. I think it's a collaborative process. While we want to impress upon our customers that we are a socially responsible organization, on the external side, we are holding our carriers accountable to the smart ways and the EPA standards. And the small little things that we continue to do internally. And also sometimes sustainability is driven by some of our Fortune 500 shippers. And this is escalating to the mid-market segment it's like ISO standard. It's now sustainability standards. There is nothing like a benchmark in this, but more and more companies are now coming out with sustainability initiatives. And it just shows the type of your social and corporate character.
Supply chain governance, what is your view on that?
That's a great question, Melissa. I think I'm a big proponent of outsourcing. I've been in the 3PL space for a long time, and I've seen the evolution. Outsourcing has now become a strategic management decision for companies around what it does best, its core competencies. And 3PLs are playing that role right from a commodity transactional suppliers to managed transportation to value-add suppliers. And one of the value-add that they do is to manage that corporate governance in terms of supply chain, holding the carriers accountable. Supply chain is becoming complex. The globalization are creating opportunities with emerging markets. The country risk is growing. The world economy is, again, as I said before, it's about wage arbitrage. We are all gravitating to low-cost destinations. Security and compliance are seriously challenging our timelines and increasing our cost. Now, corporate governance becomes so important, and in terms of supply chain, because it touches so many points and it transcends boundaries. There's multiple parties involved and multiple destinations involved, multiple countries involved. Legislative changes that have occurred in North American space, like in Sarbanes-Oxley, SOX, which is popularly known, or Bill 198 in Ontario. We have seen these legislative changes are driving compliance standards, but it just in letter and spirit, the shippers are actually relying a lot on those compliance standards to be fulfilled by the 3PLs as a part of the standard service offering. We don't charge any premium fee for managing those standards. So outsourcing is growing. Major Fortune 1000 companies are at least using one 3PL. The extent of outsourcing is growing as well, qualitatively and quantitatively. 3PLs are raising their bar from a broker to a forwarder to lead logistics service provider. Compliance is becoming a very important issue. One of the 4 criteria that people outsource, apart from the price and technology, is compliance and holding your carriers accountable, your safety rating, and your compliance standards.